if you want bigger success, solve bigger problems. Learn to get comfortable with solving bigger problems. Because I have to tell you, solving a $10 problem and solving $1 million problem sometimes takes the same energy. Here's what I know. At every calling, at every time there's an incident in your life. I mean, think about this. There's moments in your life that you know things have to change because it's like the relationship must end. This job has to be over. Like, there's a time in your life where you know it, you feel it, and you must move and do something different. And after knowing you must, that's when the fear kicks in, right? And the world wants to pull you back to where you were. And then there's other times where it's not in your control, but you still have to make a change. COVID comes, your company shuts down, your job is gone, you have to stay at home, someone leaves you, someone robs your money. Like, there's an incident where you go, I must, and there's another one where, holy crap, I have no choice, right? And it's those moments in time that I really think define us in a way that either build the grit and the calluses to go forward, right, or anchor us to be kind of flat. So I want to give you a little example. So I'm in Marlboro, New York. It's upstate New York, about 60 miles out of the city, town of 7,000 people. It's where I grew up. Now, coming from that kid who lived in the trailer park and broke and all that stuff, now I'm living in one of the biggest houses in this little town. I built a beautiful house. I have a tow truck company. I have a collision shop. I have an auto sales. I have 20-something apartments. I'm subdividing land, building houses. I'm probably making about 250 grand a year, which to me was $100 million. Like, who would have ever thought 250 a year? This guy, my dad's working for me. I'm sending my mom a check. I'm taking care of people I love. I'm giving back to the community. Like, I'm doing everything I can. But I had one of those moments. And again, because I could tell you when I was broke to get there, but I want to tell you this moment. Tony Robbins changed my life in the middle of this. And I'm like, I must go into the self-education industry. I have to share, because again, by this time, I'm only 27, 28. I'm already on paper worth $1 million. I didn't have $1 million in the bank, but I owned well over $1 million worth of real estate without debt on it, right? So I'm considered a millionaire. And there's so many people struggling to get their first deal or start their first business. Tony changed my life. He gave me the psychology of success. I wanted to give that plus tactical skills on how I did it. So I decide I'm going to go in the knowledge industry. I'm going to create a course, film an infomercial. I'm going to do all these things. And it was such a crazy time because I already felt a little bit like an imposter. Michael, I don't know if you ever felt that way or still feel like that sometimes. I still feel like it sometimes. I felt like an imposter. Like, I wasn't supposed to be here. My guidance counselor told me, go work at the local factory for $4.80 an hour if you're not going to college, right? Right. So like, and I felt dumb in school because I had dyslexia and I'd always skip school if it was a day I had to read in front of everybody because I really couldn't read. Like, I still have a tough time reading. That's not a joke. So I felt like I was supposed to be broke, and all of a sudden I'm doing this, and now I want to go in this knowledge thing and create an infomercial and film it and put it on TV. When I did that, my sister, who I love dearly, amazing woman, she literally drove from Williamsburg, Virginia, 13 hours, drove to my house and sat me down like an intervention, like I was on drugs or had a gambling problem, and said, enough, Dean, enough. She said, you've done more than anybody in this family ever could. You're the most successful Graziosi that's ever existed. You help everybody. We're so grateful for all you do, but you're going to lose everything. You're going to go broke. This is not your world. Do you know anything about an infomercial? You know anything about TV? You know anything? You're not a teacher. How can you create a course? You hated school. How are you going to write this stuff? Like, literally thinking she was protecting me. I have to tell you, she left. And for a little while, I was like, oh, she's right. I'm not that smart. And maybe I'm lucky to be here. And it was one of those moments that either the carpet gets pulled out from under you or I must do this. And part of me was like, isn't life good enough? Like, you're making amazing money. Maybe you should just leave it. But I think we were put on this earth for growth and contribution. And we can't contribute at the highest level until we grow to be the best version of ourselves, right? Dale Carnegie said something that always stuck with me, that the biggest plight of the human race is knowing you have more potential and not going after it. That is, like, think about it. When you know you have more, but you're going, it's good enough. How does good enough feel? Right? If you're at the end of your life and God said to you, hey, I put you on earth. I made you human. Tell me about your life. Sit next to me. And you looked at God in the eyes and said, life was good enough. You're like, Excuse me, what? Well, you know, my relationship, it was good enough. My income, good enough. Oh my God, I could picture God going, oh my God, another one. I gave you free will. I put you on this earth. Okay, next. Let me talk to someone who went after it, right? And I believe that. And it was that pivotal moment where I had to overcome that. And I have to tell you, Michael, it was really hard. Like I bet you I was a millimeter away from going, you know, my life is pretty damn good. I'm fine. And if I did, I'd still be working in that collision shop, probably doing great, but not, I was meant for more. So were you. If you're listening, all of us were meant for more. I think I don't care where you are, there's another 100%, there's another 80% left. So it was that pivotal moment, and I went after it. And everybody told me I was crazy. I had friends stop talking to me. Literally, kids I went to high school with are like, all right, Dean's too much of a dreamer. Oh, he's going to be on TV with an infomercial. Oh, he thinks he's a teacher, right?
The bad student is a teacher. How can that happen, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to tell everybody, listen, they were all wrong, right? I love that saying. I didn't make this up. They don't make statues of critics. They don't. They make statues of the crazy people, the dreamers. And I went after it, and I failed miserably at first. And I was using all my money from all my other businesses to fund my self-education industry. But here I am.
Wow, that's amazing. And I heard a phrase that you said, and I love it. Turn your mess into your message. And I love that, Dean. I love it. I'm going to use it, and I'll send you $1 every time I use it, and I'll give you credit. I said that is amazing. Turn your mess into your message. Everyone listening to this, Dean, everyone has messes in their lives, and that's normal. Everyone is fearful. That's normal. And I am a believer, Dean, and I know you are too from what I've read about you, that comfort is the killer of success. When you get comfortable, you're done. You always have to. I couldn't
agree with you, brother. I want to say amen after that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Amen.
Aren't the great ones, Dean, comfortable being uncomfortable? I mean, that they get in that zone. And
some of the things I always say, Michael, is if you want bigger success, solve bigger problems. Learn to get comfortable with solving bigger problems. Because I have to tell you, solving a $10 problem and solving $1 million problem sometimes takes the same energy. So you might as well go after the bigger problem. You might as well solve and tackle the things. You might as well face your biggest fears, because usually your next level of success lives on the other side of the thing you're most afraid of, right? And that's really just, I know some of these things sound so simple, and I have to tell you, like I heard the simple things on early with Tony and Dale Carnegie and Earl Nightingale, and I think I went on a journey to find it has to be deeper, stronger, worse, harder, and then now being 51, taking this big long journey, I realized, nope. It was the simple things, right? It was the simple things.
Yeah, it's those simple things, the little things that make the big difference. You tweak it here, you tweak it there, but it all comes down to making everything you've done, I've done, Tony's done. It comes down to making decisions and taking action, and that's going to bring
you said something. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Making decisions, taking action. But here's what I want to share. I've shared this before, but I want to say it because I think it fits perfectly.
Sure.
There was a gentleman I met. His name was David Kekage. And David, if I remember it right, he was in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the neck down. Wow. And if I remember the story right, I remember I think he got hit by a car while he was jogging, and paralyzed from the neck down. One of the most amazing, optimistic guys you ever met. And he handed me this little like foldy thing, like folded up like a business card trifold. And on it was Kekage credos. It was his credos of what he lives by. It's how he got through the day being paralyzed after he wasn't, right?
Yes.
And one of them was, living the hard way is easy, and living the easy way is hard. And I say it, and I know you get it. I got it immediately, right? I have to tell you something. It's easy to order takeout, eat pizza, binge out on Netflix, and do nothing. That's easy right now. But it's really hard when you're older and overweight or have diabetes or not healthy or don't feel like being romantic in your relationship, or you're not a good example for your children. That's hard, right? It's hard to get up every morning and make a decision to go exercise. It's hard to pass up on the desserts. It's hard not to eat the stuff that just tastes good and decide that most of your meals are going to be healthy. That's hard. But when you're 51, 61, 81, 91, and you feel amazing and you're alive and you can give back to your family, that's easy, right? And it's the same thing with business. Listen, it was hard to look my sister in the face when she told me, stop being a dreamer. You're going to lose everything. It was hard to look her in the face a month later or call her a month later and say, Paula, you're wrong. I love you, but I'm going after this and I hope you can support me. And it was hard to go into a new business and use all the money I'd saved plus credit card money. And when it wasn't making money and I was flipping houses, I'd make $5,000 on a house and dump it into the account. It would evaporate. That was freaking hard. But it's a lot easier right now that my kids are homeschooled right now because of everything going on. I get to stay with them and hang out with them and work from home. I get to coach Little League and softball. I get to fly around the world with them. I get to, buy a vacation house up in the mountains so it's 30 degrees cooler. Man, that's not easy, but it's the hard work I put in is paying off today. And I think if we look at it that way, listen, it was hard. I want to share one thing. And I'm not like, oh, poor me, but it was hard when I was even in my 20s. And I used to have fun. Don't get me wrong. I went out and had a lot of fun. But my friends would be like, dude, you obsess too much. You work too hard. Come on, let's get drunk tonight. Let's go party. Come on, life's too short. A lot of those guys who partied and had fun, awesome dudes, but they're still working construction and working hard for $1,000 a week asking me how I did it. It's because I put the hard work in for a little while when they didn't want to, and now I have it a little bit easier. And I think that just goes right back to what you said. It's like Kekich Credo, number 27. The hard way is, living the hard way is easy.
What's up? What's up? Hey, before you go, you need to watch these next few videos. They're absolute game changers. Hurry up and click right over here and watch them, and I'll see you there.